Are you tired of hearing the word declutter everywhere when all you want is a clean home? What if I told you this is wrong? We're going to get into why declutter is such a bad word and how to keep the things that you actually use within reach so your house is no longer chaotic and so it's peaceful and tidy. So why is decluttering such a bad word? Well, there are a couple of reasons. Number one, we might feel completely overwhelmed. When we think we have to declutter our house, when we have to anything, it sounds like a huge, massive job. Destroy, delist, debill. And number two, it can feel super negative, like we're losing something. You start thinking of your My Little Pony collection or other things that you'd never want to part with. I am not de-ponying myself. And number three, when we start the process, we quickly realize that there's a whole lot of decisions to make. But what if I need my otter statue one day? We get decision fatigue fast, and it feels wrong because it is wrong for so many of us. Let's flip the script. Instead of focusing on what to get rid of, let's focus on what to keep. Think of decluttering like chipping away. Maybe you're like making a pyramid or something. You're chipping away the surface of a crumbling structure. Whereas deciding what to keep, it's kind of like building up a strong foundation of that pyramid from the inside out, supporting the bigger picture of your whole entire life, which is having an easy life that's easy to do and your stuff's not holding you back. This actually makes the process so much quicker, way more intuitive, and way less stressful. Let's go on a time warp back to the 1990s. In Teen Vogue or 17 or Rolling Stone, there would be an advertisement to get CDs or tapes from Columbia House. For me, it started out with a lot of tapes. You would look at this list and be like, oh my gosh, I see all of these tapes that look so good. So I would go ahead, tape a penny to this return thing, this return note, send it to Columbia House, and you would get all of like 12 for a penny. And you would choose, and usually out of like 12, you'd see about 8 that you liked. And then you just choose some random ones. Like I'd get Red Hot Chili Peppers or Nirvana or The Smiths or something great like that. Then the time came to order more, and it was slim pickings. I'm not going to name some names here because I don't want anybody to feel sad if I list one of their favorite bands, but it was hard. And all of a sudden you were in it to owe this company money for things that you did not even want. Now imagine you're decluttering your stuff and you're looking at those tapes. What tapes are you going to choose? Or CDs? I mean, I think I got my first CD in 1994, but anyway, you're going to choose the ones that you originally chose. You're not going to choose the chaff. It's just like when you're going through your CD collection nowadays, choose the ones that you're actually listening to, not the ones that you're not. Let's try putting this into practice here at my kitchen desk. I'm always trying to keep it clean. It's a very busy, frequented place in our house. And I'm going to show you around. It's not going to be pretty, but hopefully when I'm done, I will be so happy to have it undecluttered the space, prettified the space, essentialized this space. Yeah. Okay. It's a working title. Okay. These are my 2 junk drawers and they need to be gone through on a regular basis. I'm going to go through this after, and then this. I'm a little nervous. And then this drawer. I have a very interesting plan though, so you'll see. And then this one is my overflow pantry because I like to have my pantry looking pretty. And these are things that need to fill up other containers. Now, you might be like, but is this process just as complicated as decluttering? I think it is so helpful when we're cleaning up a space to think about what we actually want from it. The first thing, this space is one of the most accessible spots in the house. I like having things that we use often close by. I want it clean, I want it organized, no extra stuff, and that the stuff that we use is within reach and is always there. Let's use the kitchen as an example when we think about essentials. Imagine your kitchen only with the tools and appliances that you use every day. How much stuff is in there that you don't use? How much extra stuff that is just kind of like taking up space? Everything that you're not using, not every day, but using like at least once a year that you need to use, everything else can go. Does that sound scary to you? Now, before we get started, I have to admit the breakfast dishes are there. There's a sourdough starter just begging to be fed. But let's dive into the actual strategy for this. Number one, I'm going to define my essentials. What makes me happy and what is functional. Now, when I talk about essentials that make me happy, I'm actually talking more about like artwork and that, which generally is not going to matter. However, there is a picture here that a child drew that is very cute that I'm going to keep because that is an essential that makes me happy. But that doesn't, you got to be careful with that category. Number two, we're going to pick the best of whatever. If you have multiples, keep the best version of each, which in this case, with all of these pens and pencils that is overflowing, I'm going to do that. I am going to be ruthless because some of these pens are never going to be used. Like, let's be real. Sure, they could be used, but they might not be. And number three, sentimental items. The spot shouldn't have a lot of sentimental things. And to be honest, I think that this method, we're not really going to use this sort of essentializing method for sentimental things. That's a different topic. And I absolutely love talking about sentimental things, but I'll put a couple videos down below. I think that this method is best for more work activity storage areas. How I'm doing this today is that I know that most of this stuff is just going to be relocated and it's in the wrong spot. A lot of tools. I'm not going to call out anybody here, but there's just a lot of tools. And then there's going to be a little pile for garbage, and I don't think I'll be donating anything. Let's get started.
Going through a space like a junk drawer is an interesting thing. And I know some people, they struggle with the term junk drawer. And it's to me in my life, it has been inevitable that we are going to have a junk drawer. I just remember like that is sort of like the place where things go. However, maybe we could consider it more of a utility drawer because I don't want to see this space as containing junk. These are all things that I have decided to keep. That's the entire purpose of this. We're not decluttering, we're essentializing, right? We're deciding on what to keep. What is it that we, quote, need? It's so funny watching me do this too, because like, I can't pick up certain things that are so flat. Like, I don't know if it's like, these are just like painted nails here. But anyway, so going through the pens, I realized I had a massive amount of pens and pencils in here. And it was also interesting to go through all of the little pins that were in there, all of the other little random things. And I think you might be able to relate to, you just have like a small little piece of Lego. For a long time, I had a pair of legs from Charlie Brown from a Christmas tree ornament. And when I finally was like, okay, clearly I am not fixing Charlie Brown after like 5 years of having these like little legs kicking around. And that was something that was in the junk drawer. So going through and deciding what we're using is great.
So I just want to point out a couple things. This is my husband's bracelet. He loves friendship bracelets. So I'm going to keep that in there. Actually, this doesn't go there. Everything I think I've kept in here. A couple things aren't mine. My husband's reading glasses. We do like to keep this in here. And then what I had to keep reminding myself, am I keeping this? Do I use this? That's what I'm asking myself.
And just like in that last drawer, I decluttered so many pens and pencils that were either dried up or broken. The leads just kept breaking, and that was great. This other section of the quote junk drawer is sort of like, again, more of a utility space where things are kept that we do use and we do need to access on this main level. Small tools. I do have like those little votive candles in there, which I'm kind of thinking, did I leave those in there? And I might go ahead and move those as I do this voiceover. Old gift cards, things like that. Getting and deciding what we're using and what we are keeping is a total game changer.
Now I can focus on this. So this is the reason why I was like, oh, I need to kind of maybe move stuff out of the kitchen because I had been thinking, and we've got like these, like this messy situation here with these placemats. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to declutter the blue ones because I want these ones, which means I'm going to use the black ones. I'm not going to use the blue ones. And then as for the stuff in here, I can see certain things that don't belong that are going to go basically in my husband's basket at this point that's up there. And it's kind of buried. But what's awesome is this stuff, I use these super cubes for freezing things. They don't stack well. That's my only problem, but they are so good and things pop out real easy and it's so handy. But this can now go over where those storage containers were, and so can my food saver, because those are food things. Like this is the kitchen desk, as I call it. It sounds echoey now. Um, oh, you know what? I was looking for this. Anyway, so, but now this is going to be so much easier. I'm going to tackle that. And then down here, I've got like my pantry overflow, which I feel completely fine about. This is just out of the way. But some of these things I know I don't need to keep, like this shea butter. I tried making my own lotion. It was okay, but not great. So there are a couple of things in here that I can go through. And I think for the most part, I'm keeping it all, but I can at least tidy it up. So here's the thing. I just decluttered in my kitchen, but then I was thinking about my storage containers here, which continues to get messy. And I realized I was just keeping too many of these still. We have them in rectangle shape and round shape, and that is exactly how I had organized them. I also got these bags, which aren't even being used that much. And let's be honest, they actually take up way less space than the container. So what I'm actually going to do right now, before I finish the kitchen desk, because some stuff that's in the kitchen desk can come over here, it's going to be so much better. And that's one of the things so often we think of, like when we're looking at gift giving and Christmas and stuff, is people, they have stuff sitting under the Christmas tree or on like counters and stuff forever because they don't have a spot to put things. That's what we're doing, is we're making room for their, first of all, it to be easy to find stuff, but also to put things away. So I can create space in here for stuff over there, so that is not so cramped. And I'm going to be honest with myself about what I am using in these drawers. And also, if there are only so many storage containers, we're not going to let pancakes be sitting in the fridge for like 3 weeks. We're going to empty it. So that is what I'm going to do.
The amazing, incredible Dana K. White often talks about the container method. And I love that the container method can apply to so many different spaces. And looking at these drawers, where I had 2 full drawers of, I mean, there were like strainers and colanders, but 2 full drawers of food storage. I mean, what was I thinking all of this time? And I think truly it's like, it's glass. I like it, whatever. And I had it organized. It felt like it made sense. But now, since we have done this, because obviously I'm recording this in the future, it's been great. And I think, are having things staying in the fridge for less time. We probably still have kept too many, but it's wonderful. And keeping the lids on, which is something that a lot of people have talked about. And Dana, I was really worried because we are on well water, meaning that it may have a couple more microbes or whatever growing in it, and that putting the lid on would kind of trap that and we get like really musty, but it doesn't. It still manages to dry, which is great. And then in the bottom here, you'll see I actually did tweak things a little bit, but I thought then I can keep the super cubes and other things in there, and it made way more sense. Now in this drawer, again, you can see we had more of those random trinkets, which you may have in your home too, like spare Lego pieces, right? And everybody's like, well, what do I do with my Lego? So that could go in our main big Lego bin in the basement, because that's where it should be. It should not be on the main level. And in here, this actually made way more sense for things that I didn't use all of the time. It was so much tidier. And then tackling down here was a bit of a different thing. You'll see right now.
Right. I'm going to show you what I got rid of after, but this is how good this looks. Ah! Look at this. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
And then this. So I did put this back here. Why is this turned? There we go. So this I put here because it actually fits really well with the placemats there. That was my main thing, was that the placemats weren't keeping it messy. Okay, I do need to tidy this. I didn't say I was going to be tidy when I was done. But everything I kept, I plan on using. Actually, I'm not going to use this. I'm not going to use this. What am I doing here? Did I look through this properly? Salted sugar. Okay, faker. Okay, so it does need to be tidied up down here, but look at that. So I've gotten rid of everything I don't use. Little bit of cinnamon. I might be able to top up the other one. I like having these bags here because the pantry, let me just quickly show you the pantry. So I like the way that these look. And I'm okay having the containers or having the bags in a separate spot. And over here, look at that. These are the food containers. If I come across any more like that are in the fridge or whatever, I'll deal with them. And then this spot looks so much better. These, I kind of crammed them there. Let's be honest. But right there, I can just finish putting those over. But perfect. Like my super cubes there. I really love food preservation. And then strainers and stuff there. Now let's look at all I'm getting rid of. It's a little strewn about. So these are gone. If you ever buy mason tops for fermenting, don't get the regular mouth. Get the wide mouth because these slip and fall. So I eventually will probably get some wide mouth, but for now, I just keep not using them. I'm not going to sell them. I'm just going to donate them. And then over here, so this is all stuff that I'm just not using. Like I'm not going to pretend that I'm going to. I'm not going to like search up a way to use this stuff. These are kid glasses that my kid did not use, so they're going to be gone. And then this, actually, everything except for these, I don't know why I put those there. I wasn't thinking, is going back to its regular home. And then there's the garbage. Woohoo! And then these are for the vacuum sealer, and I'm just going to put them in the basement pantry because that is where stuff like that goes.
By focusing on what to keep, you're not depriving yourself or making painful decisions. You're curating a home that you love that just feels really, really good. And we can walk in the house and just feel relaxed. There's less stress. There's more space. We feel accomplished. Life is just so much easier, truly. Try this mindset shift, essentializing, next time you're cleaning or you feel stuck. Have you ever thought maybe you are making some actual mistakes when you're trying to downsize? And I'm going to be honest with you, I do use the word declutter in this video where I get into 3 things that you might be doing that are holding you back. Check it out. Stay tidy and mighty. I hope something great happens for you today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.